This is ABC Action News, taking action for you.
We begin tonight with a family's fight for justice and their message to never give up. Good evening, I'm Jamison Euler.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thanks for joining us. All new at 6, we're learning how old school police work paired with new technology led to a break in a decades-old murder case in Pinellas County.
ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane spoke with the family and explains how police had to go to great lengths to officially arrest a suspect for a violent murder 36 years ago.
Just a very graceful woman.
Opal Weil was very loved.
She was a very kind and gentle woman, 82 years old. She had beautiful white hair.
But Tracy Crawford says her great-aunt's life was violently taken in her St. Petersburg home on the night of February 9th, 1987.
Under cover of darkness, this person came into her home and physically beat her and inevitably strangled her to death.
Tracy's father, Fred Smith, is now 91. He and his wife were close to Opal. He says it devastated their lives.
It was a very crashing blow for the whole family.
There were no suspects, and the case went cold. Tracy says her mother never stopped fighting to find who did it. Not until she fell ill last year with dementia. Now she's in hospice.
So her one dream was, for this person to be found before she passed.
And she may have gotten her wish thanks to new technology. Detectives with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office reopened the case in 2020. Using genealogical technology from clumps of brown hair found at the 1987 crime scene, they narrowed it down to a suspect, Michael Lapnewski Jr., who detectives say lived a half-mile from Weil at the time of her murder. Lapnewski had since moved to Mississippi. According to this affidavit, undercover detectives traveled to Mississippi and followed Lapnewski. They retrieved straws he'd thrown out at gas stations and even made flyers advertising for a free meal at a local restaurant where they retrieved Lapnewski's spoon. Documents say DNA from the straws and spoon matched the clumps of hair found on Opal Weil and in her bed the night of her murder. Lapnewski was arrested and is charged with first-degree murder. He's since denied his involvement in the crime, but we're showing his mugshot because detectives believe he could be linked to other cold cases in the area. As for Opal's family,
our family never gave up hope.
They say they're so grateful for the detectives' hard work, and Tracy hopes her mother gets her dying wish and that her aunt finally gets justice.
After 36 years, he's been able to walk this earth. He's been able to breathe air, something my aunt did not have the luxury of doing. And I hope that he is man enough to stand up and to confess to what he's done.
In Pinellas County, Wendy Lane, ABC Action News.
And we wanted to take this story in depth tonight and help you understand how this type of technology works. This is something I was really interested in learning about, so we reached out to Parabon Nano Labs, and I was able to actually talk with the director, Dr. Ellen Graytack. She told me genetic genealogy is a new tool where they can look at the DNA taken from a crime scene and then generate new leads as to who the suspect was based on a database connected to law enforcement, either GEDmatch or family tree DNA, even decades after the crime was committed.
When we upload that crime scene sample, what happens is it gets compared to all of the people in that database who are opted into law enforcement matching and tells us, well, here are the people who share DNA with your unknown person, which means somewhere back in time, they must have shared an ancestor.
Dr. Graytack also explains these are often distant cousins, but the genealogists can then build their family tree looking back in time by finding common ancestors and figure out who the living person is today, all based on shared DNA. And be sure to join us tomorrow night at 11. We go in depth looking at how this very technology is helping police departments across the country solve missing persons cases as well.